Gokeys! No, Gokeys, cut down just as your true potential was coming out. No, seriously, people, think about this for a minute. This past weekend, after being legal for only 24 hours, Nightmares won a 300 something Vegas regional with Gokeys. Gouki Nightmare is a thing now, and 3 days later, we essentially get an episode saying they're not getting any more support. Maybe Go will go back to Gokeys after this duel, who knows? But right now, it's looking like the wrestler archetype is being taken care of before it's even learned to walk. We'll get to back to that in a couple minutes. But first up, we kind of got to talk about last week's episode a little bit, because I missed last week's episode, mostly just due to problems with getting that Vanguard video uploaded. But that's not important. What is important is that our two brothers met their boss, or we met their boss, and I'm going to be straight up honest. As interesting as the stuff with Soulburner was, this was the highlight of the episode, meeting this villain and getting more of an idea of what these kinds of people are, the two brothers, was a really chilling, creepy little scene. When they just get there and the guy's like, please, can I have my memories back? And one thing I do like about this guy, as much as I rag on the design, is that when he talks, you really get this sense that he's not well. Something is not right with this guy, and something has been going wrong with him. Not in the same ways you have Yusaku, who's like, I am Edgelord, but more in sort of the sense that there's something mentally messed up with this guy. And then when you see what this villain does, oh man, that really creeped me out. The whole sort of, you promised to give your memories back, I said nothing, begone your current memories, let's just make a new you. As many of you know, I am a big fan of the cerebral. I always get creeped out by things involving memories and messing with people's minds. That stuff can really get to me. But, unfortunately, a lot of times, memory erasing tends to just get used as a plot convenience. It looks like, though, that's going to be a serious theme here. The idea of this villain who's messing with people's minds, just as we know that the concept of loss of innocence has been a theme of Vrains when you look at Yusaku's backstory and Aoi's backstory, and pretty much everyone's past in this is they had to grow up too quickly. You sort of see this idea continuing of the idea of what happens when you tamper with what makes people people and mess with them on an internal level like that. So that'll be interesting to see them go into the direction of memories with it, because you can do some really interesting stuff there, and hopefully that's where it'll go. I really like the idea that the little brother is the one in charge and potentially the more evil of the two, and the older one is just struggling to exist. The way they talked about him, just give him some new memories, it's fine. The way they just talked about messing with the building blocks of a human being like that is really creepy and really fascinating, and I can't wait to learn more about this guy. The other big thing that happened last week, and fortunately it sort of segues into this week pretty well too, we got Soulburner. I know that's not his main name, but that seems to be the one they use more. And also, I just sort of keep associating this guy with the other characters the actor has played, but essentially, we find out everything we expected. Soulburner is just another victim of the Lost incident. I know that's a pretty big thing, but it seems very standard for what we sort of assume this character is going in, based on Vector and Jesse and Bruno. But I do like that they kind of find some neat ways to go about it. Obviously, yes, he's the opposite of Yusaku, but I like that sort of goes into all facets of him. The way he approaches people, the way he acts around people, the way he lets people in on information, and more importantly, the way he duels. We see that where Yusaku is very precise and very, I need to win, and if I can find a way to help you alongside that, whatever. This guy is all I want to show happiness through duels, and I want to help people with my duels. In a very interesting way, he is kind of the standard shonen hero that you would expect Yusaku to be. I mean, obviously, at this point, Yusaku's personality is a common archetype, but my point is that Soulburner feels more like the old-fashioned classic guy. I also really like the interactions between Flame and I, as well as Soulburner and Flame themselves. Obviously, again, it's very simple. This time, instead of our main duelist being the serious one and the sidekick being the goofy one, this time the sort of goofy, carefree guy is the duelist, and the serious one is the sidekick. It's kind of what I expected, but some of those interactions between Flame and I are just really funny. They're very simple, but they're very effective. Again, I always find it weird with this show that the two characters who are or now two, but formerly the one, the least expressive characters are the ones who seem to get the most, emotion and actual likability out. Go figure. Gotta love Yu-Gi-Oh! But nah, just in general, I even really love the scene where Flame talks about goes and go, and Silver makes that face. I don't know why I just burst out laughing. Something was just really funny about that. And then we get on to the duel heard round the world, at least as far as Goki players are concerned, and that is that no more Gokeys for now. Just in general, I really think the changeover for Go appearance-wise works. We'll get into my big problem with this whole thing in a minute, but the big sort of thing I like is they are committed to making Go seem more like a villain, and that he's going into this I'm abandoning everything position. Look at how he's dressed. Look at how he's acting. Whenever we saw Go before, everything was big, flashy, exciting. I need to make you think I'm the big one in charge. Why else am I wearing a gold hat? Now, however, he's all down to business. He's in a serious outfit. He's just got his normal hair out. He's got his eyes hidden. That means a lot. Remember, in media, in animation, even live action, the eyes really are one of the most important parts of establishing a character's design. But removing the eyes from that removes a level of the character, which is obviously supposed to be the point here. Go has separated himself from who he has been and has basically turned into a much more serious, straightforward person. It's very clever how that is reflected in the visuals. However, the real person whose backstory I want to hear is that dude with the pink afro. I want to know what leads a man to have a pink afro, especially in the workplace. We need that guy's backstory. As for the changing of the deck, even though, again, it's weird to see him go, and I would have liked to have seen Gokeys continue to evolve through Link Era, especially now that they're really getting exciting in the real world, this also fits. Look at the Gokeys versus the Dino Wrestlers. Okay, that name kind of sucks. But basically, when you look at the Gokeys, they have these very fun, colorful, diverse designs. They represent who Go is and his duel style. He is very fun and exuberant and tries to demand attention and stuff like that. That is reflected in his deck, and the Gokeys playstyle reflect that as well. The concept of the sort of 1-2 punch, wrestle, I go, I revive, all this stuff. You got to get your plays through to get to me. All of this fits Go's personality and leads to, from a design standpoint, a very well-rounded character. Continuing with the switch-off, however, look at the Dino Wrestlers. I don't want to use the term scary, but they're obviously meant to be a much more darker-looking archetype, a bit more violent. Their effects seem to be more based around making it that you hit big, but your opponent can't do anything to you. Very oppressive playstyle and design-wise. This, again, reflects Go's changing. He is no longer Go the Charisma Duelist. He is Go the Bounty Hunter, Go the Broken Man, Go the guy who's got to do all this crazy stuff, and I thought, design-wise, that was reflected very well. However, and I don't want to criticize too much because I like the new direction we're going in, but this has to be addressed. Go's motivation for all this is really fucking terrible. I'm not saying it's not understandable. I get where it's coming from. Obviously, let's be real here. He changed sides because he needs to afford the Nightmare Engine. Not that, I just had to say that. But the big sort of thing here is that he changed sides because he's annoyed with Playmaker and he wants the attention back on him. Exactly like he did after his first duel. This is what really annoyed me, is that we're essentially repeating Go's arc from the 3rd episode. This is not good. The character doesn't seem to have progressed. And again, I like the new direction we seem to be going in with this, but I don't know if maybe Go just wasn't included in that, or if this is literally just to get more of Soulburner's personality out, showing how he handles the situation differently from Playmaker. But that is really cheap. We're essentially going to make it feel like Go learned nothing from the entire first season, and he's essentially just regressed back to this attention, glory hound. And I know what some people are thinking. Oh, the whole point of him is he wants to be the best. He should want to beat Yusaku. I thought he was a bit more mature than this. Or, scratch that. I can understand if he wants to duel Playmaker again. But Playmaker does what he does to help people, to protect the world. So why would you then interrupt that? Why would you become a bounty hunter and your goal is to now arrest Playmaker and bring him in? And maybe it'll be the thing where he's about to catch Playmaker, duels him, and then afterwards lets Playmaker go. But that means we wasted a lot of time on this bounty hunter subplot for essentially the obvious conclusion. So what is it you're really trying to get out of this? It just seems like really repetitive and just like a complete waste of the character's flawed, but all in all pretty fun arc from the first season. So that is troublesome, especially considering how repetitive this show can get. But again, we'll see where that goes. I was really holding on to for a while that there's another plan here, like Go has ulterior motives. He might still have something. But then when you reveal that he learns about the Lost incident and learns, even more importantly, how much this matters to Playmaker, it still feels like going after him all the same really just feels cheap and like just a quick way to get him and the new Archetype on screen as fast as possible. But that's how it seems to me. You might all think differently. And again, I like that idea that Soulburner's response isn't, I'm going to beat him and get my emotions into him that way. He does take time to explain, to go, no, you're a hero. People look up to you. I look up to you. Who you are matters. You can't just do this. You can't become a bounty hunter. That's a great little scene, because again, like I sort of was getting at before, it shows how he's different from Yusaku, and it also gets his character across very well, and sort of will give a good interaction with Go next episode, but I just sort of feel like it's a little cheap. But what did you think? In the comment section below, give me your thoughts on Go's new direction, if you think he will go back to Gokeys, or if you think it might be better to stop that Archetype in its tracks while you still can. TCG question of the week. Here's an interesting one, and I don't know if this really counts, but I want to talk about it. So, Latin America gets 2 weeks worth of different nationals for all the different countries down there, but we get 1 nationals combined with Canada. It's not the fact that we only have 1 nationals. Why are we combined with Canada? Why can't they have their own nationals? So, I want to know, because I posted this to some friends of mine before, and someone literally said because the Moose refused to let them play Yu-Gi-Oh! Up there. I want to see if anyone has any fun reasons why Latin America does not have 1 big nationals, or why we only have 1 nationals. Do what you want with that. I have no idea what to do with the funniest answers, but I think it could just be a fun little discussion topic. And as always, click to like, click to subscribe, and let's go on to the next episode. Shutting up now.